Hi, this is Jake Gray with Data Make You Smile. I'm going to get into weeds here a little bit today, just to unpack some troubleshooting I did for a data connection error. A very specific error, probably not 10,000 people in the world who would have this problem or be helped by this video and these notes, but I figured I'd put it out here anyway just in case somebody can search it and come across a quicker explanation or a way to get through this error. It took me a while. So I had a setback recently trying to get data into Power BI from a client's data warehouse. It was hosted on a SQL server. I was able to get Power BI to connect to the SQL server, but it wouldn't ultimately complete the connection and show me the data tables that I know are in the data warehouse. It gave me this message after I got connected. I won't read the whole thing, but the important part is the certificate chain was issued by an authority that is not trusted. If you search the web, you'll find lots of help articles addressing that issue right there. A lot of them are not necessarily related to Power BI and not the specific problem or solution that I came up or that I found today. So anyway, when you're logging into Power BI, you get a window here. If you choose SQL Server as the data source, then you enter the URL for the server, the database name. That's optional. You don't have to put it, but if you know it, you can enter it there. You click OK. You enter the username and the password for access to the SQL Server, and then this is the actual window that gives me that message. Again, there's that error. The certificate chain was issued by an authority that is not trusted. Okay, so here's a recap. I've got the SQL Server URL and the port number. I've got the server name. I've got the login username and the login password. I've got all that information. I'm able to connect to the SQL Server, but it connects and is not authorized. So again, I got this message, the certificate chain was issued by an authority not trusted. So from the owner of the data warehouse, I got this suggestion, said, hey, there's a section in this help article that talks about limitations and offers a solution for using Power BI Desktop. It's toward the bottom of this article. I got another suggestion. We need to configure the connection to trust the SQL Server certificate. This is usually done via the connection string, something along the lines of making sure encrypt equal true and trust server certificate equals true are set. But Power BI Desktop doesn't provide access to the connection string, or at least it wasn't obvious to me when or where to make that edit when I was getting data from a SQL Server data source. So I went back to that first help article, which I had read, but it didn't click with me for whatever reason, or I just missed it. It may have been a day of distraction and I just missed it. But anyway, there's a subsection at the bottom of that URL, bottom of that help article titled Limitations. SQL Server certificate isn't trusted on the client, either in a Power BI desktop or an on-premises data gateway scenario. So here's the excerpt. Again, I won't read the whole thing, but there's that fun message in purple again. And it gives a suggestion to troubleshoot this error when using Power BI Desktop. You modify the value of the environment variable, specifically the variable called PBI SQL trusted servers, to include the SQL servers. This is a very 30,000 foot view, high level, doesn't give you a lot of details. Again, it says follow the solution mentioned previously to add the environment variable. But again, I'm asking here, how? No further explanation here. So I did a little more digging. I went back to the web and I searched for the phrase Power BI desktop environment variable PBI SQL trusted servers, trying to mash together all these words that I'm getting in the error messages and the help articles and stuff. And it was that last search phrase that yielded this Microsoft Fabric community post that explained further how to add the environment variable. That article is at this link. The solution on that page goes back to the original help article that I quoted above, but it adds a little more detail. Most importantly, it gives explains how and where to add the environment variable PBI SQL trusted servers. So the solver lists the necessary steps. I've outlined them in green here. I won't read them all out to you, but add the environment variable, click OK to save your changes, reboot your device, etc., etc. That was marked as a solution. The person who had the original question said, okay, that's great, but where do I do that? Updating the gateway config file makes sense to me, but I'm unsure where to modify the environment variables for PBI desktop. And so he elaborates, gives two redacted screenshots, and says, you do that in the advanced system settings dialog of your PC. I'm getting closer, I feel like. Okay, but tell me more, please. So here's where, this is the reason why I made this video and what my contribution is to this, I think. It's to help in this effort, just really to unpack it and give a little more detail. So specifically in items A through F. So I've added these to his first bullet point, or his first instruction to add the environment variable. So in more detail, go into your Windows desktop, click the Start button on your keyboard, typed in Advanced System Settings, click that Advanced System Settings option, click the Environment Variables button in the lower right corner of that window, and add a new system variable. So I'm going to jump down to the screenshot so it makes a little more sense. Start button, type in Advanced System Settings, boom. Here's the window, Advanced System Settings, click on Environment Variables at the bottom. And then under Environment Variables, not new under User Variables for your username, but under System Variables, you're going to put in a new variable. So click New, and it gives you the opportunity to enter the variable name. This is the punchline, I guess. You get to the variable name, PBI SQL Trusted Servers, copy and paste that in, and then type in the variable value. And he has a little bit different instruction, the solver does, in that community post. I've typed it in here just to make it a little more clear that you're doing a catch-all variable value, if you will, by using the asterisk on both ends of this field. QDN stands for your, I'm drawing a blank here. It should be FQDN, not FDQN. FQDN, fully qualified domain name. Sorry, long day. And the asterisk will take care of the subdomain that goes with your URL. So back up here to my instructions. So you're going to copy and paste PBI SQL Server into the variable name, then type in this, like I said, into the variable value field, replacing FDQN. It's FQDN, sorry, fully qualified domain name, with the domain name hosting the target SQL server that you wish to connect to in Power BI. So, for example, if your SQL Server import string includes datamakeyouSmile.com, then the variable value should be asterisk dot datamakeyouSmile.com asterisk again. So this asterisk is catching the subdomain part of the URL, and that asterisk is catching the colon and the port number where the SQL Server can be accessed on that URL, if that makes sense, that domain. All right, so here's an example. If the SQL Server is at dmyswarehouse.datamakeyouSmile.com colon 1999 for the port number 1999, then DMYS warehouse is captured by that first asterisk, and colon 1999 is captured by the second one. I won't read the second value to you, but you can see it there. All right, so we step through the screenshots. You get done with that. The last thing is, once you've rebooted your device, his item number 4 says open Power BI desktop. You got to clear out the permissions that were hanging you up before. Go to File, Options, and Settings, and then Data Source Settings. So File, click on Options and Settings down below on the left, Data Source Settings in the center at the top. It opens this window. Click on the item that you want to clear the permissions for. You're basically cleaning that out so that you can connect afresh again. So select the data source you want to refresh from the list, click Clear Permissions, click the Delete button, and then open up Power BI and reconnect. So here's my conclusion. It seems to me from what I've read that Microsoft pushed some update in February of this year, 2024, and that affected Power BI and Data Gateway data connections in a way that they don't automatically anymore. They don't automatically trust a self-signed certificate of authority from the host site for the SQL Server. So I'm not the oldest guy in this game. There's probably lots of data analysts and business intelligence pros that are more talented than me. They see this as old news or like no big deal, minor league stuff, but that, that's probably true. I just came across this issue for the first time last week. So hopefully my contribution here saves time in your troubleshooting this issue and clarifies exact steps so you can see more clearly what to do based on the augmentation of his steps and the screenshots that I've shared. So wrap it up. Give me any questions you've got. I'm happy to help or dialogue with you. I'm sure there's some of you out there who go, well, there's a better way you can do that, Jake, and I welcome those suggestions too. So thanks so much for your time and attention to this, and have a great day.